Our first encounter with the new French planes was a shock to us. In the evening we sat down to discuss the events of the day, and I was looking in very concerned faces. In fact, I had never seen Immelmann and Bölke this worried since I joined the squadron, and I'm sure that I was showing a similar expression. Together with them, I had done my best to stay alive against the French Newport 11 fighters that engaged us. Truly, the French have built a formidable plane. It is obviously faster than our planes, even compared to Immelmann's and Bölke's E2s. It climbs really well, and it is able to turn on a dime. As the fight dragged on, we lost more and more altitude, trying to keep our speed up, but slowly ceding every advantage to the enemy. I have no doubts that the enemy planes would have forced me down one way or another had Kette 1 not arrived when they did and chased them away. Despite their superior planes, when suddenly outnumbered, they lost their appetite for the fight and withdrew to their side of the lines. Hess finally asked a question that seemed to be on everyone's mind. How can we fight the enemy if they have planes that are so much better than ours? After a long moment of silence, Bölke began a methodical analysis. First of all, we can be certain that the French don't have many of those new planes. Remember how much time we needed to produce enough Fokkers to cover the front lines. Surely the French will need a month or two to deploy the Newport in any meaningful numbers. Meanwhile, more and more E3s are being delivered to the front, and Fokker is already working on a new, much more capable plane. For the near future, we will still mostly face older planes. If we do encounter the Newport 11, then we have to ensure numerical superiority before commencing the engagement. Anything else would be too dangerous. If necessary, dive towards the nearest airfield or concentration of flak. The enemy might hesitate to follow. This encounter has also proven that they still don't have a synchronization gear and have to mount a machine gun on the top wing. 50 shots, then their drum is empty and they need to reload. Be confident in your abilities. Even though our planes might be less capable, we know how to fly them. The enemy pilots are still getting used to their new toys. Let's make sure they don't get the time to do that. Bölke certainly has a talent for raising confidence, but I have to admit, I'd feel a lot more confident flying a new plane. Well, I was about to get one, but not in the way I had hoped. On the 27th, we had to fly a mission in bad weather. As I was landing, a sudden gust of wind caught my plane, and I stalled out just above the ground. The sudden drop was cushioned by my wing and undercarriage, but when the riggers examined the machine, they saw that the wing had pushed itself into the fuselage. The plane was written off, and I received one of the replacement machines. I soon found out why it was in the replacement pool. On the 29th, for my first mission in it, we were ordered to fly a balloon defense mission near Bapaume. We had just arrived at the balloon's position when the engine suddenly began to smoke heavily and soon lost all power. I just barely managed to land the aircraft at Bertincourt airfield nearby. The mechanics there were kind enough to fix my engine on the same day, and I returned to Douai in the evening. I really hope to have better luck on today's mission. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our amazing Wings Over Flanders Fields campaign, where we are playing as the German pilot Felix von Berg, flying a Fokker E1 single-seat fighter for FFA 62 from Douai in Flanders, and it is now the 30th of January 1916. So once again a few days have passed, some with bad weather, but we also did fly 2 patrols since you have last seen me on the 24th of January. We had an airfield defense patrol and a balloon defense patrol, In both patrols we did not encounter any enemy planes, so that's good. But if you have not seen the previous episode, I suggest you do, because on the 24th of January we encountered a very dangerous new enemy that might very easily be our undoing. The Nieuport 11. A new fighter that the French are introducing, and it is so much superior to our Fokker E1 that it's not even funny anymore. That thing is outclassing us to a degree. It's crazy. It really is. And I have to keep it in the back of my mind that it's better to run away and fight another day than to die with everybody else. What I mean by that is, while I really hope that it doesn't come to that situation, I might at some point be forced to abandon other pilots in my squadron to save my own skin. Our main objective in this campaign is to survive, of course, for as long as possible. And if I find myself in a situation where we are being completely taken apart by Nieuport 11s, I might just have to run. If that is even possible, because of course the Nieuport 11 is also much faster than I am. I really hope it doesn't come to that, but I might have to really make some horrible decisions in the future. We'll see though. Today everybody seems to be going up together. Bölke is leading my little flight here. Hess is coming with us. Let's see what kind of mission they're sending us on. Albatros, I really do hope that we manage to survive long enough for those. Meine Herren, our mission is to patrol friendly front lines. Patrol our lines, be on the lookout for enemy aircraft. Our destination is the friendly front sector, Abschnitt FF 414, 18 miles away. They suggest that we fly at an altitude of 2,200 meters. And we will patrol 5 miles along the front. Let me oh, we are going far north today. Look at that. I am moving the circle up waypoint to here. Just to shorten the distance a little bit. Fuel might become an issue here. But okay, looks like we are flying to the circle up waypoint, then we are flying to here, to this waypoint, near or just to the west of Loos. From there, we are flying to the frontline sector, and then we will patrol between the frontline sector and waypoint 2 for 21 minutes, going back and forth, before we then return home. We will be very far north, so it is actually much more likely that we will see British airplanes instead of French airplanes. And I'm not sorry about that. Definitely not. They have the Nieuport 11 flying out of Savy down here. And I would rather avoid those things. So, let's go to the field and see what kind of mission we can put together today. But first, let's take a quick look at the weather situation. Scattered or few clouds with morning fog. Okay. Wind 8 knots, just a gentle breeze from the southwest. Good. So, let's go. And we are on the field, starting the engines. Ready to roll. Number 1 is going, number 2 is going, I'm going, and everybody else will follow. Okay, so in front of me I have Bölke, and he is taking off. And I'm following them. It looks like quite a lovely day today, doesn't it? A few scattered clouds. Looks like they are relatively high up. I hope they won't interfere with our patrol route. But all in all, it looks quite lovely. It really does. Yeah, everybody else took off. They're climbing up behind me. Good. You can, by the way, you can see the power of the E2. Immelmann is following me directly, and he's flying an E2 while everybody else is flying an E1. And you can see how he's leaving the others behind. One of you wrote into the comments of a previous video that the E2, that it isn't such a huge difference compared to the E1, because, well, it has smaller wings actually than the E1. However, the much better engine does make a huge difference. It really does. And I am absolutely looking forward to the day when I get myself into an E2, if I survive that long. Or even an E3. Because the difference will be very noticeable. Not just in the engine performance, but also in the machine gun. Because yeah, the E1, you know, we have this very slow rate of fire on this machine gun here. The E2 and the E3, they have a much higher rate of fire with their Spandau, with the improved synchronization gear. Much higher rate of fire. But alright, we are flying to the circle up waypoint. It looks like a cold, but very nice day. So I'll just go ahead and follow these guys, follow Bölke. And we will resume this once I have something to report, or once we are closing in on the lines. Welcome back. We are currently flying northwards, and we have contacts on our left wing. I think those are aviatics. Yeah, they look like aviatics. Friendly two-seaters. Going somewhere. Just passing us on our left side, going in the opposite direction. Oh, don't lose Bölke. There he is. Yeah, once again, the difference in engine power between the E1 and E2. It's quite big. Oh, look at those two guys go. Ah, what a lovely time we had in our aviatic. But I wonder how, even with Otto as our gunner, we would have fared against the Newport 11. I don't think that the chances to survive an encounter with Newport 11s in an aviatic are very good, even if Otto is the gunner. So I wish these two guys much luck, and hopefully no Newports in the vicinity. I'm continuing to climb after Bölke. And we are, as I said, we are heading north, or north-northwest, on our way to waypoint 1. In between Loos and, what is the town name? Graviteam? Something like that. We'll soon be there. But we are definitely not alone in the skies today. So I wonder if the enemies are active as well in our area where we are heading. We'll find out soon enough. Let's continue. Welcome back. I think we have contact. There's massive flag fire ahead of us. Not sure if that's a friendly plane or not. We are going that direction. I wonder what kind of plane it is. It seems to be only one, so it could be an enemy scout. Or we are... no, I don't think we are close enough to the lines that this would be enemy anti-aircraft fire. I think this is German anti-aircraft fire. It's also quite black in appearance. So that must be an enemy plane. The question is, what will it do? We're going after it. I'll try to stick to Bölke. Let him attack first, or somebody else. I don't want to receive the full attention of the rear gunner that this thing undoubtedly has. Not sure what kind of plane it is. We'll see soon enough. I actually don't have that much experience with the British planes in this area, because so far I think we've exclusively been fighting the French? Not sure. Bölke is swooping in though. I'm following. He's of course much faster. But that's okay. Not sure how the gunner is sitting. Does it have a gunner? It looks like a single-seater. What is that? Well, if it's a single-seater, awesome. I don't have to worry about the gunner. Bölke's shooting. Everybody's shooting now. I'll join in. We are getting some hits in. And yeah, that is a single-seater. I'll break off. Keep my distance a bit. I don't want anybody to ram into me. But okay, now I might have a chance to get a few shots in. What is this? Is it a Bristol Scout? I think that's a single-seater. I jammed. It's a wonder my gun has never jammed so far. Now it has though. Everybody's putting in shots into that guy. This will once again be a situation where nobody will be able to claim a kill, because everybody's shooting at him. He is trying to evade, and his aircraft can do some maneuvers, and I really have to be careful that I don't interfere with anybody else here. But this guy is in trouble. Oh man, when you hear an engine come closer like this, it's unnerving. Ah, that was a miss. But I'm getting on his tail, ready to deliver a few shots. Those were some good hits. Maybe I got the pilot. Maybe. Maybe. Let's observe. Or is he faking it? They can do that. But no, that's quite a steep dive. I don't think he's faking that. Nah, he's not faking that. Okay, there's a crossroad down there. That's good to know. But I think he went in. I think I got the pilot there. But still, everybody's going to claim this guy. Absolutely everybody. Now I will need to figure out where I am and where everybody else is. There I see flak fire to the side. That's enemy flak. There's one of my guys. I lost a bit of height here observing that plane go down. So we'll have to climb up to them again. Yeah, they are there. Everybody's there. Oh boy. I should have more than enough ammunition remaining. I think that's a Bristol Scout. I will have to look it up. But first of all, I need to figure out where I am, because that's gonna help with my report. I think that we are pretty much near the town of... If only I could read that. Ah, it's Acune. It's Quillies. I think we are there. Where's everybody going? What is that? Oh, that's our guys. Okay. I just saw a group approaching from the west and I was immediately very worried. But it's fine. This is my flight, these two guys. Let me join up with them again. Okay, so it's Quillier, probably. I think we are there. That must be the town that we saw below us right now. Yeah, must be it. I'll write that into the report. Oh, nothing like a short little fight to start the day. And I think I actually did hit the pilot there with my last few bullets that I fired. So that's really the best way to dispose of an enemy plane. You really have to hit either the pilot or something vital like the engine. Everything else, it's mostly fabric, and your bullets go straight through without doing anything. Just poking tiny little holes. Of course, if you put enough holes into a wing, the fabric will start to tear away, and you might also smash the wing spars, which will then lead to the wing breaking away. But your best chance is really to aim for the pilot or the engine. Just put your bullets into the center mass of the enemy plane, basically. Bristol Scout, is it a single-seater or no? I am really not sure. I think there is a single-seater Bristol Scout in the game. A very, very much outdated plane by this point. But actually quite the fitting enemy for my Fokker E1. Planes like that is what led to the very high losses of the Royal Flying Corps in the last half of 1915 and in early 1916, the so-called Fokker Scourge, where scores of British pilots lost their lives because they were flying planes like that and got jumped by Fokker units just like ours. So, quite fitting. And thankfully, no Newport 11. Maybe I shouldn't be celebrating this much, because just as this poor soul found himself very much outblasted by our airplanes, so soon I myself will find myself once again very much outblasted by enemy Newports. Of that, I'm quite sure. So, have we arrived at a frontline position and have we started the patrol along the line? Or are we still on the way to that frontline position? We are... no, we have arrived there. We are now flying northeast along the front. Good. Oh, by the way, I do have a little favor to ask of you. Let me know if the game audio volume is fine as it is right now. I have lowered the volume quite significantly because, well, when I was flying missions that lasted for almost 1.5 hours with this engine basically like a chainsaw screaming into my ears because I'm going, oh, what's that? Oh, that's my guys, okay. Basically, this engine screaming like a chainsaw into my ears because I am wearing headphones for over 1 hour. I felt my ears go numb, and I figured that's not a healthy thing. So I reduced the game volume. Let me know if this works. I am always adjusting volumes in editing. I have done that previously as well, so you have never actually heard the game in the volume that I hear it in. But I just had to reduce this, and I will have to use I will have to adjust the game volume to a different level in post-editing to make sure that you can actually hear the game well without having my voice drowned out by this engine completely. So let me know how it sounds. I would very much appreciate that. Now, let's continue this patrol along the lines. I have formed up with Berg and Hess, while Cat 1 is behind us right now. I think they have already turned around. We seem to be in the process of turning around. So we have already arrived at the northern point of our patrol leg and are turning around now. Yeah, it's a very short patrol leg that we are flying. It really is. What was it? Like 5 miles, yeah. Not a very long patrol leg. And I wonder if anybody else on the English side will come up to... What's that? Is that still my guys, or is that somebody else? That's not them, that's somebody else. We are not investigating right now. I will not go off solo. I'm staying with these guys. Going away solo is tempting at times, but ultimately leads to an early and very unpleasant death. So let's not do that. Where did it go? Damn it, lost it. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, it was in our turn. So I think it was over there in that direction, wasn't it? Or was it over there? I don't see it right now. And I don't see any flak, and I keep losing my position here because I'm looking around, and with a Fokker it requires constant attention to keep in position. This aircraft is quite unstable. You can't just put it on a course and have it stay there, but Bölke is turning. So he might have seen it too. And we are going to investigate, or we have already reached the turnaround point again. That's also possible. 5 miles is really not a lot. No, there it is. That's not German. That's decidedly not German. Berg is hesitating to go after it. Maybe it's already on the enemy side of the lines. But that looks like a pusher aircraft. Might be one of those new British planes that we kept hearing about. So maybe that's why we're hesitating here. I'm not going to go after him alone. Absolutely not. And I think he is on the enemy side of the lines, because he's not receiving any anti-aircraft fire. And we have standing orders to stay on our side of the lines. So we are flying our patrol here. And I'm not going to attack that thing. Maybe Kette Heinz will go after it. I'm not sure where they are currently. If they are in a position to investigate that. Bölke, he thought about it for a moment, but then he turned away. And we did also drop a little bit of altitude while Bölke was thinking about it. So now we have to climb back up again. Where'd it go? There. I'm pretty sure that's one of those new experimental British pusher aircraft. So maybe it's better that we are not going after it. We heard that they are quite good. And I guess he came up here to see what is going on here. But he also turned away. He's staying on his side of the lines. He does not want to risk a fight with us three. Especially not with Kette 1 somewhere in the area too. Where did they go, by the way? I expect to see a trio of Fokkers somewhere nearby. But there's no sign of them right now. We have also heard that these new experimental aircraft, the British, they don't have very large numbers of them. But that is about to change. We have read that in the news articles. They are trying to get more of them over to France here. Or well, are we in France or are we in Belgium? We are in France, but we are very close to the border with Belgium. They are trying to get more of them over here. So we'll have to wait and see how that situation develops. For now, it looks like we are continuing our patrol, making sure that no enemy aircraft comes over the lines. That's our main purpose here. Protecting our own airspace. I don't know, I think I have explained that earlier, but maybe not everybody has watched that earlier episode where I explained it. The Fokkers, the German planes. Ah, there they are! The Fokkers, they had orders to not go into enemy territory because the German High Command feared that a Fokker going down in enemy territory might give the secret technology of the interrupter gear for the machine gun to the enemies, who were at this time not using any synchronization gears because they didn't have them in use. The synchronization gear, why is it so important? Why is it such a major military invention? Oh, that's enemy flak. Well, it allows us to shoot our machine gun through the spinning propeller. Obviously, without that interrupter gear, if we were to simply fire our machine gun at its full rate of fire, we would be hitting our propeller blades from time to time. And those propeller blades are made from wood and they don't react too well to machine gun fire. So why is that a big deal that we can shoot through our propeller? Well, it allows me to do this. It allows me to aim quite accurately with my machine gun. The enemy Nieuports that we are fighting, they have their machine gun installed on the top wing so that it can fire above the disc of the rotating propeller. That has some serious disadvantages. Oh, now we are getting flak. The number one disadvantage is that it's much more difficult to aim. You can't aim down the sides of the machine gun. Maybe you can install something like a little aiming device, but it's not going to be very accurate. So you can't shoot at long range, you have to get really close to your enemy. And disadvantage number two, my machine gun is directly in front of me. The charging handle for the machine gun is right here. If my machine gun should jam, I have a chance to clear that jam by yanking on the charging handle, for example. Or even if it should be really necessary, I can open the top cover of the machine gun and clear a jammed round. So I have an option to clear my jam. The enemy Nieuports, on the other hand, if the machine gun jams, what are we doing? Why are we losing height? Are we? No, I don't think we are. Well, on the Nieuports, if the machine gun jams, the pilot has to stand up. Yes, stand up in his cockpit to clear the jam. To reach the machine gun and clear the jam. The same is true if he needs to reload. Those Lewis guns that they are using, they have drum magazines, I think 50 rounds per drum. So if he wants to change the drum, he needs to stand up and change it. Which, as you can imagine, in a fight is absolutely impossible. He has to get out of the fight briefly, be left alone for a moment so that he can stand up and quickly exchange the drum magazine or to clear jam. There's no other way for him. I think we are returning home. That's why we are losing altitude. Is the time up already? Have we spent enough time in the area? It's possible. I'm blipping the engine right now, as are they, to keep a relatively low speed in the dive. Or let's say a normal speed, we don't want to dive too fast. We're receiving some flak fire, we are very close to the lines here. But it's fine. So we are flying back to Dubai now. Right. Yeah, so that with the reloading and the clearing of jams, it should really tell you why the interrupter gear, the synchronization gear that basically makes it impossible for the gun to fire if there is a propeller blade in front of it. That's why that was so important. And if I want to be more accurate, it was a synchronization gear. So there were basically two versions of that technology. There was one version where the gun could not fire when there was a propeller blade in front of it. And there was also a version where the gun could only fire at specific points of when the engine rotated, when the propeller rotated, when the how should I explain it? Basically, specific points were defined in the rotation where the gun was allowed to fire. You might now ask yourself, what's the difference? Well, there is quite a difference. If you have a spinning propeller and you can fire for as long as there is not a propeller blade in front of it, that gives you much more time to fire the machine gun during a revolution of the propeller disc, compared to the other variant, which we seem to have here, where the gun is only allowed to fire at very specific points in the rotation of the propeller. Yeah, I think we are going home. We are flying south. So we are indeed going home. Okay, that was once again an exciting little patrol on the front lines here. Let's skip ahead to the landing and see if I can manage that without messing up the aircraft. Hey there! Small little intermission here, because I noticed something while editing the video. I noticed how the enemy aircraft that we shot down, the Bristol Scout, how it looks. One particular thing about its looks. And I'm now sitting in the Bristol Scout. This is the Bristol Scout here. It's very pretty. And, well, I have been talking in the video about the synchronization gear and why it's a big deal to be able to shoot through the propeller, and how the British and French are otherwise being forced to mount their machine gun on the top wings so that it can fire above the rotating propeller, and how it's a pain in the ass to stand up to clear a gun jam. Well, on the Bristol Scout, they had a whole other idea for mounting the gun, and I just wanted to show you this because this is... Man, early days of fighter aircraft were wild. So where's the gun? Is it here? Is it shooting through the propeller? No. Is it up there? Somewhere on the top wing? Oh, no, it's not up there. It's not over there or back here or anywhere. It's... What the hell is this? It's here. It's here, mounted on the side, where the pilot has direct access to it to clear jams, to reload the gun. But the keen observers among you might also notice it's not shooting forward. The gun is angled to the side so that it shoots past the spinning propeller. It's angled to the side. I don't even know what to say. How are you supposed to hit anything with this? You can't fly behind your target. You have to be offset to your target to be able to hit it. This is really crazy. As I said, the early days of combat aviation were wild. Really wild. I just wanted to show you this. Welcome back. We are currently descending down to the airfield, which is below us. And I'm following Hess here. I'll just follow him as he is going in. I thought of maybe a better way to explain what I meant with the interrupter gear. So basically the version that we seem to have is a version where my gun is blocked from shooting at all times, so the machine gun cannot shoot, unless the propeller blades are in a very specific position. The faster version, meanwhile, the gun is always free to fire unless there is a propeller blade in front of it. So that's the major difference between the two versions. And yeah, now we are descending. I'm still thinking about what kind of aircraft we encountered there. What kind of aircraft I shot down. Is it really a Bristol Scout or no? I think I will just claim it. I can also just claim an enemy single-seater. That's also something that I can do. But I am pretty sure that the Bristol Scout is a single-seat machine. So that must be what we encountered. I'm relatively sure of that. But not 100%. In any case, I'll keep the claim narrative much shorter than last time. Maybe last time I got my claim denied because the text that I wrote was just a little bit too long, and the orderly or the officer responsible for verifying the claims didn't really wasn't really in the mood to read all of that. So, it's a possibility, who knows. I really do hope that I get this victory awarded to me. That would be nice. 2 machines have already landed. You know what? I'll follow Birkin. He's already going in. I'll follow him. Looks like Hess is making another circuit. I'm not in the mood to wait for him now. So I've seen 2 machines down there. Where's the third one? Huh. Is he in the area and maybe circling in as well? I'm not sure. We'll find out soon. And yeah, we need to go down pretty soon because I am low on fuel now. I don't have too much fuel remaining. But we'll be down in just a minute. Okay. Kick the rudder over a little bit. Blip the engine so that we don't go in too fast. And we'll soon turn in and land. Oh, by the way, while we do that, I want to talk really quick about one major thing that has been popping up in the comments a lot, understandably. What's going on with the Silent Hunter campaign? Am I going to continue that? Short answer, yes. The slightly longer answer is that, well, the Silent Hunter campaign had to take a back foot because I had to spend a lot of time to keep this series going. There was a lot of flying involved, as you have seen in the pilot's logbook, where nothing happened. And that just took a lot of time. Time that I didn't really have in the last months. I thought, or I'd planned a vacation, take a few days off from work, but that got cancelled because I was just so absolutely swamped with work in the last 2 months. There have been some important and major things going on at work, and that has just been really taking a lot of time away that I would have otherwise had free to produce videos. Okay, so there are 3 aircraft down there, and Hess is coming in somewhere behind us, so everything is good. So that's the reason why the Silent Hunter campaign so far has not continued, why there's been such a long break in that. It's not because I don't want to continue, absolutely not, I do want to continue and I will continue. It's just that I didn't have the time. Real life interfered, as it does sometimes. Is there somebody directly in front of me? Yeah, kinda. I can go over to this side. Switch sides here. And I'll try to park up as they did. There we go, that's nice. And I see Hess coming in behind us. We'll wait for him. And then we'll go to the debrief. Ah, successful sortie. Successful sortie, that's nice. I'm very glad. And we managed to get an enemy. You know, so far, or I should say while I am ignorant of the capabilities of the new British aircraft, I prefer to fight the British rather than the French. The French, those Newports, they have scared me. Those Newport 11s. Seeing how quick they were to turn around in the air, how maneuverable they were and how well they climbed, that has really scared me. Fighting the British seems much more manageable. As I said, at least as long as I'm ignorant of the capabilities of their new aircraft. Maybe those new aircraft are just as good as those Newport 11s, maybe even better. Who knows? I don't. I'm sure I'll find out. But I'm not in a hurry to do that. I'd rather encounter more of those planes that we saw today. The one that we shot down. I think I wish to encounter more of that type while I'm flying the Fokker E1. Okay, has touched down alright. Seems to be coming in fine. No problems here, so everybody has made it safely back to the airfield. Don't know why the grass is flickering. That's new. Not sure. But it doesn't matter, we are almost done. Here he comes, burning off the last little bits of fuel. While the engine is coming to a stop. And there we are. Okay, let's head to the debrief. I am going to claim that aircraft. But let's see what I'm going to claim. So, flying time was 77 minutes. I fired 53 rounds, 17 rounds hit. That's actually a pretty good accuracy, 32%. Our efforts are making a difference, blah blah blah. Landed at home airfield. 3 aircraft took off. 3 aircraft arrived. 3 aircraft made it back for landing. It's only talking about my flight, my Kette. We did manage to shoot down some enemy aircraft. Yeah, we did. Okay, let's see. Everybody got some shots in. Everybody unloaded on that guy. Actually, Bölke scored more hits on him than I did. But his rate of fire is much higher, so it's not a surprise. Let's go to the claims. I will name Bölke as my witness. Although... Now, here is a good question now. Is Bölke gonna claim that thing? And if I name him as a witness, might that lower my own chances? I don't know that. That's actually a really good question. Well, let's see. I am pretty sure Bristol Scout. I think that's it. Or, alternatively, I could say that it's a single-seater type. Let me go through these. It's not a BE2, of course, that's a 2-seater. It is, right? Yeah, I think it is. No, I think Bristol Scout is alright. Okay, I'll type up something. And then I'll bring you back. Okay, I filled in the claim form. I will read that to you in just a few moments when we go to the claim form. For now, let's hit done and see what happens. Will this be awarded to me or not? A new day. It is now February the 1st. Let's continue. Victory has been confirmed. Awesome. Nice. So that's my second confirmed victory. Let's have a look at that. Oh, but first news. Yes, okay. What did you miss? Let me scroll back a bit. I've read this to you, the new British machines, of which we possibly have seen one today, because it looked very much like this one that we see on the picture here. The thing that we saw in the distance with these big struts in the rear. Pusher aircraft. Huh. But okay. 29th of January. Zeppelins attack Paris. Zeppelins attacked Paris, causing 54 casualties. Although Zeppelin raids on Paris have had some morale and propaganda effect, London is now becoming a preferred and easier target. The nearest Zeppelin base to Paris is Metz, which means flying close to 320 kilometers, 200 miles, over French territory each way to Paris, giving the defending air force and anti-aircraft guns too much time to organize. Rumors of a switch in concentration of the Zeppelin program to attack solely on London are circulating. Then on the 30th of January, Royal Flying Corps reorganizes. Brigade formations have come into effect, further decentralizing the Royal Flying Corps. Each army will be allotted 2 wings, grouped as a brigade. 1 squadron for routine Army Corps work, and the other for fighting, bombing and distant reconnaissance. And then now on the 1st of February, German airships over England. Last night saw the resumption of German bombing raids. 9 Imperial German Navy Zeppelins attempted to attack Liverpool, but reports indicate that bombs were scattered around the English Midlands. Zeppelin L-19 was lost, crashing into the North Sea with all crew perished. In related news, Britain has consolidated command of all pilots, airplanes and searchlights devoted to the defense of London under a single commander, Major T.C. Higgins of the Royal Flying Corps No. 19 Reserve Squadron at Hounslow. Okay, let's go to my pilot. And now we have 2 confirmed kills. Let's take a look at this. Confirmed, it was a Bristol Scout. Remarks. So my claim form. Encountered single enemy aircraft on our side of the lines and pursued. The enemy, unable to escape, was engaged by the whole squadron. After a few passes, I managed to hit and kill the pilot. The enemy aircraft went into a spiraling descent and crashed on our side of the lines, near a crossroad at Quillies. Witnessed by Oswald Bölke. Status confirmed. Enemy squadron RFC-2A. A random British airman. RFC-2A. We'll take a look at that in a moment. No new medals, of course. But first, let's have a quick look at the review for this mission. All air units. And let's just hit go. We are taking off. That's the whole squadron going, and now we are flying, circling up. Some aviatics are taking off down here. RFC-2A and BE-2C becomes airborne. Fokker E-3s are going up at Vaughan and Vermandois. Newport 11s at Savy. God, I'm glad that we didn't encounter those today. Escadrille 15. Those are the guys that we ran into last time. And we didn't shoot down a single one of them. Oh, look at that. A Bristol Scout suffers a fatal fire. Oh my god. That means that basically his engine randomly ignited. But there also seem to have been some air combat, or is that us engaging? No, that's us engaging. That's Bölke actually going after him. Okay, an E2. So yeah, I'm going to zoom in now to this area up here. So Bölke is engaging. Lands a few hits. My rounds start with... So there were 2 of them. One suffered a fatal fire and went down, and the other one probably continued his recon mission and was then trying to run away from us, but he was not fast enough. The Bristol Scout is even slower than we are. Yeah, my rounds are hitting. He takes hits from another E1. Takes hits from another E1. More hits from another E1, taking hits from an E2, so either Berke or Immelmann are scoring hits. Another E1, everybody was shooting at that guy, and then destroyed by me. Yeah, and we continue to fly in this area. An allied observation balloon has been destroyed by Fokker E3s. Look at that, let me zoom out a little bit. I think those Fokkers down here, yeah, look at that, over here. There, an enemy observation balloon was brought down on the Somme. Let's zoom out further now. And let's continue this. We are flying up here. Looks like the Fokkers then started to strafe some British troops on the way back. Brave guys. Destroyed an AA gun. Nice. We are flying our patrol. A Newport 11 seems to be down here near Bapaume, taking blast damage from a German anti-aircraft gun. Fokker receiving blast damage from anti-aircraft fire. They are busy strafing British troops. Not sure why I see so much Fokker E3 strafing British troops near the Somme. It's interesting. Looks like the Newports are going after one of our observation balloons. Yeah, and they're shooting it down. A BE2C is receiving blast damage. Very far away from me, probably further up to the north. We are flying back to Douai. A BE2C is forced down over here. Or was it here where it took damage? Okay. It's forced down here by damage. Fokker E3s are landing back at home. I'm low on fuel, yes I know. And we are starting to land at Douai. Some aviatics are landing again. And I land. Newports are landing. And that's it. Nice mission. I enjoyed this one very much. Also, absolutely because I downed an enemy plane. That's the main reason. Just to check really quick, what was it? RFC2A. Let's see. Let's go to the intel room. Enemy squadrons. In our area. RFC2. That's where they're based. Let me zoom in. Okay. They are based at, oh my god, how do you say that name? Herstigneux? Near Bethune. They are based near Bethune. And they are mostly flying they are mostly flying BE2Cs, so two-seaters. I guess they have a few Bristol Scouts as escorts. Yeah. Didn't work out for them. Yeah, they do have Bristol Scouts. So this is what we engaged. The Bristol Scout fighter aircraft was introduced from around January 1915 onwards. Oh god. No, that's actually... okay, January 1915 because that's the earliest date available in the game. Let's see, maximum speed 100 miles per hour at sea level, maximum ceiling 15,500 feet, range 210 miles, 180 horsepower Gnome rotary engine, 1 or 2 303-inch Lewis machine guns. For 1914, the Scout was a nimble, fast racer aircraft, not a war machine. Lewis guns were retrofitted in the field, placed at various positions and angles, but none really excelled. More could have been made of the Scout, but at the time the company became preoccupied by the new F2A and F2B. The now famous Captain L.G. Hawker, RFC-6, won his Victoria Cross flying a Scout C. Although the Scout never became the sole aircraft of any squadron, around 19 RFC squadrons had a smattering of them. The machine's primary role was that of fighter, but it was also used in an escort role, giving protection to two-seater and single-seater machines. Not a very enviable pilot who has to fly these things. They do have an ace in that squadron. Oh, good that we didn't encounter him. So that squadron lost 2 of those scouts today. Maybe... I don't know how many they had, but... losing 2, that's not a small number. Okay, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to reward myself by requesting some leave. Let's do that. Let's submit the request for leave, and I've been awarded a 48-hour pass. So we're getting 2 days off, which is very nice. Let's see, 2 missions were flown, 2 airmen in the first mission, 4 airmen in the second mission, no casualties. That's the important part. New date is now the 3rd of February. So the next mission that we are flying will be on the 3rd of February, and there are new news. Okay, we have a lot of news today. There was also something on the 2nd of February. Britain introduces conscription. Although over 3 million men have volunteered to serve in the British Armed Forces during the first 2 years of the war, due to heavy losses at the Western Front, the British government has decided to introduce conscription, compulsory enrollment, by passing the Military Service Act. At this time, only single men will be called up. So no married men. 3rd February. New scout to join the fray. The Fokker Eindeckers continue to rule the sky and take a terrible toll on Allied aircraft. Yeah, we have seen that. But new de Havilland DH-2 single-seat pusher scouts are now on their way to France to bolster the Royal Flying Corps and combating the Fokker menace, which has now run unchecked since last summer. The new machine is reported to be quite maneuverable with a good rate of climb. How quickly the new machines can be put into action is unknown, as their location and status remains a closely guarded secret for now. Have we seen one of them today? It's either we have seen this one, or we have seen this 2-seater variant. The FE2B. So we have either seen the FE2B, or we have seen the new DH2. I wonder which one it was. But we have to look out for this thing. Okay. That shall be it for today. I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and that you are looking forward to more of this very amazing series. I'm having a lot of fun playing this. So, for now, thank you very much for watching. I do hope to see you again next time. Until then, have some really great days. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, to tell me in the comments about the audio volumes, and goodbye.